Hey, what's going on everybody? Mal here. How are you guys doing today? Yesterday was Apple Event Day. So, Apple Event Day. Today we're talking about that since yesterday I was chatting with you guys about my thoughts on the Note 10 Plus. Not necessarily my brightest idea to launch a review on the Note 10 on the same day that Apple releases the iPhone 11, but screw it. All right, so let's do this. I took notes in case I lost myself in everything that happened because it was such an eventful day. Want to know what happened yesterday? They talked about Apple Arcade, Apple TV Plus, a new iPad, the new Series 5 Apple Watch, the iPhone 11 and the iPhone 11 Pro, and retail. All of these topics with so much stuff to digest, like such a rich, no, I can't. I mean, a bunch of stuff leaked, yes, and a bunch of the leaks were sort of correct, but absolutely everything had a twist on it. Between the leaks and what we actually saw, there was always a twist. For example, Apple TV Plus and Apple Arcade, which at $4.99 each for the whole family, 6 people, both of these services are looking pretty good right about now. Especially Apple TV Plus, because even if it only has 5 exclusives for now, it has like a big, powerful cast and a bunch of very talented people behind them. So, they look very good. It's just me, but they actually look very good. But you want to not pay $60 for the year? Buy something from Apple. Anything this year, and you get an entire year of like a freebie of Apple TV Plus. That's good. The new iPad is weird because now it has it has a contact pin, so you can use the keyboard thing that connects to it. It has support for the Apple Pencil, and it's got a new Retina display, and that's it. Seems like it doesn't make any sense. Then we go to Apple Watch Series 5. Aside from the always-on display, which is new, and the technology can actually be really cool, and they explained it in the keynote and was beautiful, and it has a compass in case you go out with absolutely nothing else hunting bears in the middle of winter in the mountains and you need a compass. You're gonna have it on your Apple Watch. That's it. And the always on thing doesn't kill the battery any faster. But the interesting part about that is the Apple Watch Series 4 was already so ahead of the entire competition, and I can say that because my wife wears one and I wear this one, and I actually like it very much, but doesn't even compare, and they discontinued it. They launched the Series 5 and killed off the 4. Dead. Out the window, into the ground, 6 feet under, cremated. Why? Because the differences between that and the Series 5 are so little and very incremental that it was very possible the Series 5 basically wouldn't sell. So in killing off the 4, your options are the 3 or the 5. And there's a bigger gap in technology being delivered. Business-wise, you can't really say they're doing dumb stuff. Okay, now we get to the meat of the event. The retail stores. No, just kidding. They're gonna relaunch the Fifth Avenue store. It's bigger, new design. Go there and check it out. I don't know. The big things about this release, this event, were the iPhones. Those 2 things up there. The iPhone 11 and the 11 Pro. And the 11 Pro Max, which isn't in this picture. It isn't in this picture. I have to say it, if you look at from the front and it isn't one of the new colors, you're not going to be able to tell them apart because they look exactly the same, even though the Pro Max, the Pro and the Pro Max have a new display that's a little bit better, probably because it's a little bit brighter. From the rear, you can definitely tell the difference between the 11 series and the 10 series because of that. That's really, really ugly. And my personal opinion, you can love it and you'll be wrong, but it's just my opinion and you'll be wrong. Both of them are terrible. You think I'm kidding? Apple themselves memed this phone. They memed the iPhone 11 in the keynote in one of their ads, comparing it to like big round googly eyes with a bug or something, like a praying mantis. Looks like a stove. Actually, both of them look like stoves, but I'm not really sure why they went with the matte finish on the glass and the glossy square with the camera things. And it's a bump and then another bump. It really seems like they didn't know what to do to make this thing look any different than previously, and they just went like, stick another one in there, don't even think too much about it, and that's what happened. Now in this keynote, they went like all out, swinging for the fences, specifically when talking about camera, performance, and battery. Those were the big three things about both phones. The cameras are obviously different. The 11 and the 11 Pro and the 11 Pro Max have a new ultra-wide camera. And from what they showed, they apparently were able to maintain consistency in capacity for focus and color science and contrast and everything between all of them, all the three cameras, including when you're seamlessly transitioning from one to the other while recording video, for example, going from the ultra-wide to the telephoto, and you don't lose anything in detail, in color, in nothing. It just doesn't even seem like it's jumping between the three cameras, which is actually impressive. Like a camera nerd, impressive. Really digging that. Now, despite the front of the phones having stayed exactly the same, they also did have some upgrades for the front-facing cameras and systems, arrays and stuff like that, because Face ID has been improved, and you have a new and improved camera in the front that has even an ultra-wide sort of angle, like slightly, almost nothing. Just you turn it around and it becomes a little wider, but yeah. And it actually now can record slow motion video in the front facing camera, and they dubbed it slow fees. Oh god, please don't. Alright, now last year I told you guys not to go for the XS and XS Max because the XR was the better option. It was cheaper, delivered basically the same thing, didn't have any features missing aside from the telephoto camera, and better battery life. This year, they kind of screwed all that up. Because now, with the new A13 Bionic Super Duper chip, which is much more powerful than everything else in any smartphone ever, and still more power efficient, you got 1 extra hour of battery life in the 11 against the XR. But at the same time, the same chip gives the 11 Pro 4 hours of extra battery life compared to the XS. And the 11 Pro Max has 5 hours more battery life than the XS Max, which is insane. And automatically, the first thing that got through my head was, if it's the same hardware and it's the same chip, how come the difference between the battery life of the previous year's phones and this year's phones are so goddamn big? Well, it's kind of apparent when you start to look at what they said on the chipset part of the keynote and when they talked about the cameras in the iPhone 11 Pro and Pro Max. There is definitely something else, either on software or some specific difference in hardware, that wasn't completely made apparent in the keynote, because the 11 Pro Max and the 11 Pro can do stuff, even in the camera, that the 11 will not be able to. There is an update coming in the fall that's gonna enable a couple of features, and those features, from what they hinted at, are not going to be available for the 11. Now, if that doesn't happen and they deliver the same experience across all phones, at least this year, you actually get the best battery life with the Pros instead of the normie 11. And that alone may be enough for you guys to consider the Pros. And lastly, there's price. The 11 starts at $699, $50 less expensive than what the XR launched for, and the Pro and the Pro Max are $999 and $1099 respectively. From there upwards, obviously, while you get more storage, and the options are 64, 256, and 512 gigs. And if you go for the iPhone 11 Pro Max Super 512 gig storage, you're paying $1,500 before taxes. So you're getting more than what you would get with the 11 and the 11 Pro, but whoo, it's so expensive. But it's Apple, right? Now with all that, everything we just talked about, everything that happened, the entire keynote, If you guys would like to see it, I'll link it down below, or just go to Apple's channel, it's there. But as soon as everything is in the office and we can start to test it out, actually take sample photos and videos, test out the new dark mode that you can't toggle on and off whenever you want, and all the other features, everything, we are going to be talking more about all those things Apple decided to put in the market for us. So until then, thanks for watching, hope you guys enjoyed it, leave any comments or suggestions down below if you're feeling like it, and I'll talk to you in the next one. I'm counting on you guys not to ever only write Slofies and just Slofies in your comments, either on this video or on any other regarding the new iPhones. I'm counting on you not to do that. Like, don't do it. Please. Do not.